All right, let me text him. Hold on. He just texted. So I texted him last night. I'll see you at 8:15. He goes, yeah, okay, no problem. And now it's 8:15. I just pulled up in front of his house and I said, and he texted me, are we still on for today? Yeah. He's very casual.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on, man?
How are you?
Good.
Thanks for the ride.
Well, thanks for coming. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. It's Friday.
You get your bonus?
I did. I got a $250 bonus for being employed.
Did they give you a check or did they direct deposit it? What is it?
Direct deposit. It's on my check.
Did they take taxes out on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they always do.
Like I originally was supposed to get like a $960 check or $960 check. Ended up in like $797. But I'm just happy to get $7.
Laura got a $30,000 bonus
Nice.
from work.
Yeah.
Over the years, she's had two bonuses. One, the max you can get 30 grand,
Okay.
no matter how good things are.
Yeah.
And then it goes down from there.
Okay.
So she got 30 grand one year, and another year she got 16,000.
Right.
But her $30,000 bonus after taxes was 22.
Wow.
So they took out 8 grand in taxes.
Jesus Christ.
That's crazy, right?
Right.
I mean, it's great, $22,000.
Of course.
You paid the government what you got to pay them.
Right.
But it's just the initial shock. You're like 30 grand and you take out $8,000.
Same with me. It's like it's great. It's $997, but it was $969. But yeah, it was a good week. I had the $250 bonus for being employee of the month. I hit the tier and got the one sale that got the $150. And then I made the two other sales, and they were $30 a pop. And then it was they raised the minimum wage 50 cents, so I got like an extra $50. So I had my Harley.
And it all happened at one time, right?
Yep,
That's awesome.
got lucky.
We all got to get lucky once in a while.
I know, right?
What's going on here? They're tearing up something.
Because for a while I wasn't getting lucky at all. Remember, John?
I don't know.
I was.
But all those trucks right there
Yeah.
to repair the sidewalks. Look.
I know. I was walking through all those sidewalks the other day, getting up.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, sometimes you.
I was going through jobs and not finding jobs and not having any money, and now I have almost $800. So I'm very, very grateful. I have a lot of gratitude. I found a place that likes me, for who I am, and I work hard. It's a good culture, and they like to keep me around, so it's good.
That's awesome.
It took a while to achieve that, but it's good. I'm happy.
Don't take it for granted.
No, I'm not. Because believe me, I've
keep
had a
doing what
lot
you're
of
doing.
shitty jobs. John.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, a lot of shitty jobs.
Yeah.
Gotta enjoy it while it lasts. Who knows how long it's gonna last? But it's lasting right now, and I'm not taking it for granted.
I was just talking to my sister last night. I went to dinner with my sister.
Yeah.
I've worked a ton of jobs too. And I think where I went wrong. It's all working out now.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, I didn't have anyone in my life who gave me any type of direction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like I came out of high school when I graduated, and I had no plan.
Right.
I really had.
You weren't going. You didn't
I went to Broward Community College.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I just, I was like, okay, I'm going to Broward Community College. I'll take business.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was a cop out. I was like, Business for what? Like, why was I taking business?
Right.
Because I didn't know what else to take.
Right. That was me.
Everyone. I think the default is business.
Right.
Right. I didn't even go to the college and talk to
An advisor.
an advisor.
Right.
I just said, okay, to get this degree, you need to take these courses,
Right.
and I had no plan.
Right.
And I go, that's why I dropped. And then when I didn't make the golf team,
Yeah.
well, I didn't say I didn't make the golf team. What happened was the golf coach that I knew changed colleges,
Yeah.
and a new guy came in, and he had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah.
Nice guy, but didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he just gave everyone out. He just gave all the scholarships to anyone who asked.
Yeah.
And I asked him about scholarships. He's like, "Oh, I already handed them all out." I'm like, "Okay, that's good." And then after that, I'm like, "This sucks." So, yeah, it was like terrible. I had no plan.
I was similar. Well, I graduated high school, but I had to take the science test to.
Head into work, Jet.
I had to take the science test to graduate from high school,
Yeah.
and I missed it by a point, but I got a waiver, and then I got my diploma, and then I got into ABAC,
Yeah.
but I took like a semester off, preparing for the science test.
Yeah.
So I was working at a restaurant for like 6 months, and then I started college the second semester, and I took business because I was taking remedial classes, and
Yeah.
I couldn't get into journalism with the remedial classes. So I passed the remedial classes, and I got into journalism, and the person said I wasn't cut out for journalism.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, because he was an asshole. It probably wasn't cut out for it, but he didn't have to be an asshole,
Because sometimes you get in college, they're straight. Sometimes they say it to you like that because you know why?
Right.
You're wasting your money.
Yeah.
You're actually paying for it.
Right.
So people might tell you point blank, you're not cut out for this, buddy.
Right.
You need to.
And then I changed it to political science. And then I dropped out because my mom was struggling financially.
Yeah.
And she was calling on the phone, and she was crying, and I dropped out because I wanted to help her financially, naively. And even when I was working, I couldn't help her. And then I didn't realize till later on when I got home from college after I dropped out that she was sick.
Yeah.
And then she got cancer, and she ended up dying, and moved down here.
That's a tough. You were dealt a tough hand there.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like parents are like real supportive
Yeah.
about things you do
Yeah.
prior to graduating from high school.
Yeah.
Once you graduate from high school, like if you don't leave
Yeah.
and go to college somewhere
Yeah.
and you're staying at home
Yeah.
going to college, your parents want you to like, why aren't you working?
Right.
Oh, because I'm going to college.
Right.
Well, can't you go to do? And like the whole thing changed, right?
So when I was studying to take the test, I had to get a job, or I couldn't just stay there and
Yeah.
do nothing while I was preparing for the test. So, good thing I got a job as a busser and a dishwasher, and I was working, and I put away some money, and I paid a little rent, but I was putting away money from college. I saved maybe $2,000,
Yeah.
which was a lot when you're like 19 years old and you have it to go to college.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Back then,
Yeah. Back then, and at that age too.
probably the best job I ever had when I was like a kid
Yeah.
type job. I worked at a golf course
Yeah.
in the bag room for a private country club.
Yeah.
I made like crazy money, and I blew it too.
Yeah, of
Again,
course.
you're a young guy,
Of course.
young girl, young guy, whatever. You got
Yeah,
money
yeah.
coming. I'm working in the bag room
Yeah.
at 22, and I'm driving a I'm driving a Mustang GT.
Yeah. I got jobs down here. I blew it on strippers. I know about being a young guy.
Been there, done that, bro.
Blew it on strippers, alcohol, dumb shit.
I walked in.
Not anymore. I'm
Sure.
wise and
Yeah. Listen,
old now, but back
Listen,
when I
I
first
walked
moved
in-
down here.
listen, I walked into a strip joint with $1,000 in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I left with $10. I left with enough money
To get home.
to get home.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
because
Believe
the
me.
money came so easy
Oh yeah.
that I could just go to. I made so much money in cash
Yeah.
working in the bag room
Yeah.
that I knew tomorrow I was going to go to work. I was going to make $300-400 in a day.
Yeah. And you're
And,
being all right.
Yeah, I had no bills. I had nothing.
Right.
I did have bills. Her name was Raven.
Who's
Her
Raven?
name- the
Oh,
stripper.
the stripper. Yeah. You were paying her bills.
Sure.
Right.
Why not?
Right. Single moms, right?
Yeah, they're all single moms.
Yeah.
And then if you're lucky enough to be at the club when they close, they're all jumping in their Corvettes and their Teslas and Corvettes and their Ferraris.
Right.
And they're
Going home.
They're driving to their penthouse on the beach.
Yeah.
And
After they told you the sob story about their
Yeah.
baby daddy's not paying child support, and
Yeah,
then they get into a
absolutely.
nice car. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. No, I know. I hadn't been to a strip club in like almost 3 years, but I have some stories.
The last time I was in a strip joint was my brother.
Yeah.
My brother's bachelor party.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even enjoy it.
Yeah.
I was like so uptight.
Yeah.
I was standing in the back of the room. I wasn't even sitting at the table
Yeah.
with him and his buddies. And just to watch them carry on and stuff, I'm like, wow. I didn't know my brother had that in him.
No,
He
we
was-
all have it. We all
He
have
was
that.
off the deep end, man.
We all have that dog in us. We just gotta not let the dog off the leash, you know, John.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
Listen, my mom. This is how clueless my mom was.
yeah,
My mom, when my grandfather died, he had taken out these whole life insurance policies
yeah,
that he had been paying into.
yeah,
And if you pay for them for like 25 years,
yeah,
after 25 years, it'll be worth like $5,000.
yeah,
It was like $3 a month.
yeah.
So my mom goes, "Hey, you have this insurance policy. You can cash it in." My mom was so clueless that she was ready to just give me the $1,500 and let me do whatever I wanted with her.
yeah.
Raven's name was all over that.
Oh yeah. But when you go to the strip club with $1,000, you feel like you have a 10-inch dick. The feeling of going to the strip club with $1,000 is that's a high.
And then later I started working at nightclubs.
Yeah.
I started working at the clubs after my golf career was over.
Yeah.
I started, and that was fun. I had a good time working there, and I met a lot of good. Actually, afterwards, I worked at some nightclubs,
Yeah.
and that's a whole different
Yeah.
way of life,
Yeah.
right? Because everyone there,
Not real. I mean, it's real, but it's not real. That makes
when
sense.
the lights go off and you go home,
Yeah.
it's real.
Yeah.
And the people that
But we're on the same page.
the workers that I met,
Yeah.
whether they were strippers or because the strippers I was paying,
Yeah.
I became friends with
Yeah.
when I started working at these places,
Yeah.
and they were upset. They were like, "How you used to come in here and spend all the money? Now you're here working." I'm like, "Yeah, because I quit my job because it was killing me."
Yeah.
So, but you find out that they're just normal people too.
Yeah.
She's a stripper or whatever, but
Yeah.
she just it's just a job.
Yeah.
It's just a job. She gets paid a lot of money,
Yeah.
and it's just a job. I used to tell her all the time. I go, "Listen,
They don't
I
really
know
like
you're-
you.
No. I used to tell her, I go, "Listen,
That's like the
when the
the
makeup's
biggest
listen,
misconception.
when the makeup's off,
Yeah.
and they got their sweatpants on and sweatshirts. They just listen. They could be walking down the street. You wouldn't know that
They're strippers, right?
that's her in in her bikini and whatever. But
right.
I used to tell them all the time. I go, listen, you better save that money.
Yeah.
I know you're driving around in a fancy car.
Yeah.
You know, here's me, someone because I lived it. You know, I'm like, better be banking that money.
Yeah.
Putting it somewhere for use.
Yeah. I had a.
We don't do it.
We don't think of that.
If we make $5,000, we spend $5,000.
Blow it, right? Yeah. No, I have some wild strip club stories, and I had a little issues with it in the past, and then I just said I'm not doing it anymore. But you know what set me over the top was I went to one in Boston. It was like the worst strip club I ever went to.
Nice.
And
nice.
it was, remember when I went to the airport and I went to Boston?
Mm-hmm.
After the Bruins game, I went to the strip club.
Nice.
And the strip club was about the size of my living room, John. I was like, yeah.
Listen, I've been to a strip joint where they didn't even have a DJ.
Oh my God.
The girls used to walk around and collect $1 from someone so they could put money in a jukebox and play it.
Oh my God.
Right? They didn't even want to pay for a DJ. There's some guy talking on a microphone somewhere, and they had a jukebox, and they collect $20. They put on 20 songs.
Yeah. I was there for less than an hour. I spent $100 and told my dad.
No.
And he was like, because he wanted me to stop going to the strip club, but
yeah.
But I told him, I said, hey, I was there for less than an hour. I spent $100, and I was like, this wasn't for me. And he was like, okay. And then after that, I realized that, I was going to go down to go back to these strip clubs and do that whole thing.
A strip joint is another form of high pressure sales.
Of course.
Anytime I was there, I mean, not when I started working at places, and I'd go to a strip joint on my night off because I knew the DJ.
Yeah.
Because the DJ at this place, he was the DJ at the place that I worked.
Right.
He only worked there 2 nights a week, whatever it was. And then some of the bartenders, they'd work for somewhere for 3 months, and then they leave and go work somewhere else.
Right.
So I got to know everyone. And sometimes I'd go in and sit at the end of the bar, have a drink.
Right.
And the strippers would come over to me.
Right.
And they'd go, they all knew my name. Hey, John, can I sit next to you?
Yeah, can I get a dance, John?
Or here, I'll dance for you.
Right.
You don't even have to pay me.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to sell, they come around with a t-shirt and hat.
Yeah.
And for a $30 dance, you get the hat and t-shirt.
Yeah.
And they put high pressure on the girls to sell that.
Upsell it.
Sell you this, right?
Yeah.
And some of the girls just, they didn't want to do it. And they would come and go, hey, can I just sit next to you because they don't see me walking around?
Right. I had girls like that.
So I said, fine.
I would be like a regular, and they'd come up to me and they'd give me free dances because I'd come into the club and spend like $200 on them or whatever, which is a lot for them when it's a slow night like on a Wednesday. They're like, this guy spends like $100 on me, and
But it was weird, right? It was weird that me and my buddy, we knew
you want a free dance, you spent $200. So what? Yeah, sure, why not?
We knew a bunch of the girls, and some of them lived together. They were like roommates,
right?
And we went down, and sometimes we would go out to lunch with them or something. We'd go over to the house to pick them up. Cause that's hey, meet me at my house, then we'll jump in my car and go.
Right.
And I get there, and I knock on the door. She goes, hey, come on in. Naked,
nice.
Butt naked. And then you go, hey, sit down, I'm getting dressed, whatever.
Yeah.
And I go in the living room, I sit down, and all of a sudden the other roommates started coming out of the rooms.
Yeah.
They're all naked.
Nice.
They're all like trying to get dressed, everything. They had no tops.
Yikes.
And they were very polite. They come over, shake my hand. I'm sitting there going, okay, you had no clothes on. She goes, hi, I'm so-and-so. Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Are you Mary's friend? Oh, Mary. I thought her name was Raven. No, her name's Mary. Okay, great.
Right.
No, it was hysterical. It was hysterical.
I'm sure.
No, but it just shows
Everybody likes to take it, right?
Well, the point I was trying to make is that gay
body,
not even self-conscious. It's not a thing.
Right.
That being gay, it's not even a thing. It's not like someone you walk in. You know, it's like if someone who skydives, you're like, hey, yeah, they lose the
Inhibition.
right. All right, so we had our strip joint talk for today.
That's enough for you? You don't want to hear some wild, crazy stories?
I never, you know what? Though one thing about I can never go.
Backroom stories.
Oh boy.
We can't. We gotta keep it PG for the.
You gotta keep it PG.
For the camera.
That right there is my 14-year-old nephew.
Oh no.
He's getting an education. Listen, I'm not gonna tell people not to go to a strip joint. Whether it's listen, I had this is the true story. My buddy, a Jamaican guy that I grew up with.
Yeah.
He was a male dancer.
Yeah.
And he used to go to certain clubs. We had a club in Fort Lauderdale that was just a regular place.
Yeah.
But I think one day a week, they would have like ladies' night.
Yeah.
And on that ladies' night, they'd have the male review.
Yeah.
And he'd go there and dance with the crew.
Yeah.
I would go with him.
Yeah.
I'm not dancing, obviously.
Yeah.
I was never built for that.
Yeah.
But I would sit in the back of the room.
Yeah.
Because afterwards...
Show you support.
Yeah, because he was always nervous. Because he wasn't like one of the guys that had ever, you know...
Yeah.
It was like his first few times. Whatever. Not the...
They are.
The women are actually absolutely crazy.
People don't think that they are, but they are.
Women are worse.
They're about more sexually aggressive than the men.
Listen, you go to a female strip club.
Yeah.
Where the dancers are female.
Right.
The men go in there.
Yeah.
And we kind of just sit there.
Right.
We're not hooting and hollering, jumping around.
Right.
We just sit there.
Right.
And
Unless you're a dick.
And when a girl comes over to dance,
yeah,
we're kind of like, I don't know, maybe,
right.
You know.
Right.
You go to a female strip club.
Woohoo!
Oh my God, they are. Something going up here.
Show me your.
Yeah, no, they're crazy. So my buddy, so we would go into they would have like a dressing room, like in the kitchen area, or like this other area, right? They'd have where everyone could go change and all that stuff, and they would go there, they'd go out and dance.
Yeah.
They'd come back, and my buddy's G-string, he wore like a banana hammock.
Oh.
I call it, right? Because they all do.
Like a Speedo?
Yeah, a Speedo, but it wasn't going up their butt. It was like almost like full. Like they call it banana.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Didn't need that visual, but thanks, John.
He would take. You should see all the money that he was taking out of there, right?
Yeah.
Plus, all the phone numbers.
Yeah.
Not only the money was rolled up with, and they rolled up their phone numbers.
Yeah.
They didn't even know who it was.
Right.
They're like, I don't know, there's someone's phone number. And it was terrible because, well, it wasn't terrible. I felt bad. I felt bad for the girls because they don't realize that the guys, they peel through there, collect all their money,
yeah,
and then all the phone numbers that they collect, they just throw in the trash. They don't know who they are.
Right.
Because, and like the male strippers,
yeah,
they're a lot different than the female strippers. They didn't live a life like the glamorous life.
Yeah.
They used to go work out.
Yeah.
That's what they had to do.
Yeah. It's not Magic Mike like that's a movie.
No.
You've seen those movies?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
bullshit.
No. That's BS.
Yeah.
I'm sure
a little
somewhere that
some
goes
extent.
on.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's someone, got a lot. I can tell you this. I know a lot of the girls that had sugar daddies.
Of course.
But they didn't live around here.
No.
Right?
They have sugar daddies and they never live by the club because they don't want anybody in their neighborhood to see them. I heard all the stories. They all live like 20 miles from the club.
Not even that. A lot of girls who had sugar daddies.
Yeah.
The sugar daddies didn't even live in this state.
Really?
They were like businessmen.
Yeah.
Who came from out of town. Out of town, and they hooked up. I knew a girl who was being put up in a furnished apartment.
Nice.
In a place called Port Royale, which is east of Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Had a Porsche to drive. had a Porsche to drive. She drove a Porsche, lived in the apartment, and I can tell you this because I've been there.
Yeah.
And we went, me and my buddy Stan, he knew her from dancing.
Yeah.
Me, Stan, and this woman, we went to the Galleria Mall.
Yeah.
And she bought, while I was with her,
Yeah.
a $3,000 mink coat
Jesus Christ.
on the guy's credit card.
Yeah.
That was her sugar daddy. The only thing is, when he came from out of town,
Yeah.
if he came for a week or whatever,
Yeah.
she took the week off.
Yeah.
She took the week off. She was his eye candy wherever he was going. You know,
I'm
whatever.
sure she was more than his
Sure,
eye candy.
sure.
I'm sure he was.
Sure, well,
she
sure.
was giving it up.
You ain't living in no condo and driving a Porsche if you're not giving
him
something
some
up.
pussy. Yeah.
You better be good at something.
Right.
But no, I've seen those. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Saw a girl drive. I know a girl driving a Corvette, and back then they had where the top was glass of the Corvette, and you could take it off and make it a convertible, and you had to put it into like a little sleeve, and you put it in the back of your Corvette.
Right.
And she didn't attach it, and the thing flew off and shattered on the ground.
Yeah.
She just drove over to the Chevy dealership and purchased a $1,500 glass thing for her car.
Right.
Paid cash.
Paid cash.
Didn't care.
Right.
It was like came out of
All in ones.
no problem.
Right. I got a
So-
lot of ones.
So next week the weather's supposed to be really bad.
Oh no.
They're saying I was just watching a thing like over the week, like 5 inches of rain, flooding, all kinds of stuff. It's another tropical thing of a jigger.
Yeah.
Not gonna. They said they don't think this is. Maybe this is part of it. But we were watching the news yesterday,
Right.
and they said so. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm so busy at work, man. It's good, but I haven't been this.
I had some stories where the girls would go in the back and they would try to sell me like an 8-ball and pussy and this and that. I know your white boys like the parties, and no,
Oh, really?
just give me some dances. You know?
Yeah. No, I've never been. So I can't. I've never been
Man,
solicited.
these strippers are hustlers, man. They'll sell you coke while they sell you sex. They'll
Oh,
sell
really?
you everything.
I
Yeah,
never.
they can't live off of the little $25 dances. You know what I mean, John? They think the big money is, soliciting them.
Well,
for
yeah,
sex.
some
Some
of
of them sell the drugs too.
I think depending what type of club you're in.
Yeah.
I went to I grew up in Fort Lauderdale where there was like Michael P. I don't think there's anyone there yet.
Not yet.
Completely dark in there.
Yeah.
But the nightclubs back then were a place called like Pure Platinum.
I've been to Pure Platinum.
Solid Gold. This is when it was owned by a guy by the name of Michael Peters, and it was like
Not Pure Platinum. I've been to Solid Gold.
Yeah.
I've probably been to that one in Fort Lauderdale that you're talking about.
Pure Platinum was off of Federal Highway, just
Yeah.
north of Commercial Boulevard. I mean,
Yeah.
Oakland Park. Is it Oakland Park?
Yeah, because I worked at Mellow Mushroom
Yeah.
off of Federal Highway, and sometimes after work I would stop in for an hour and I would go to Solid Gold. I've been to that one. I didn't particularly like it.
Well, Solid Gold and Pure Platinum were owned by the same guy.
Yeah,
He owns clubs all over
it was too pretentious for me.
But I've been to like the worst strip. When you talking about the worst strip joint,
Yeah,
the worst hole in the wall I ever been to was a place in Pittsburgh.
yeah. Well, you hadn't been to the one in Boston.
Because I don't know what it is, right?
Yeah.
But the girls in Miami and Fort Lauderdale,
Oh yeah.
they were hot, they were beautiful.
Right.
So I went to Pittsburgh. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a far cry from
Yeah, Miami. Yeah.
Miami and Fort
You
Lauderdale.
may be a Kansas 10, but you're not a Miami 4.
Yeah, it's kind of weird,
You know what I mean?
I feel terrible talking about it, but
Yeah.
or saying that about people. But
Yeah.
no, it was pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This one in Miami, kind of toned
Yeah.
and got a tan going on,
Yeah.
and then this one over here is stark white,
Right.
kind of not toned,
Right.
and
cellulite. all sorts of shit.
Got some
Right.
stuff going on.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Got
nah,
a C-section.
we're not in. It's like that funny thing. We're not in Kansas anymore.
Right.
Is that the owner?
Yeah.
All right,
See you,
dude.
John. I'll cash app you in a couple hours.
No problem.
Love you,
man.
buddy.
Have a
It was
good
nice
day.
telling stories with you.
Yeah, we got more. There's
We
more.
continued. Hey, bank tomorrow?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem.
You want to do lunch?
I'll
Well, let me know. Just let me know.
I will. All right. All right, so there you go. That was Friday night chat. Friday morning chat. Stripper joints. I don't like the P word. I don't like to say that. I don't like the C word when it refers to a woman's thing. I don't like the P word. So, as you can see, it's so funny. The camera on my phone doesn't pick up how bad the weather is. Like, it makes the clouds by the naked eye are dark. They're dark, gray, dark, pretty bad. But if you look at it, you're looking at it, it's darker than the camera. So that was the story. All right, let's put on the radio. I'm heading home because people who follow me know that I normally don't see patients on Friday. My Fridays are the paperwork that I have to complete for the patients that I did see. Because I see patients all week, and sometimes you do what they call point of service, which I'm doing my paperwork on a patient as I'm seeing them. As I'm seeing them, I'm filling out the paperwork, I'm documenting what they're doing. And some people are okay with that, and some people aren't. Sometimes they feel like you're not paying attention to it. And it makes you feel funny, you know? So I usually wait till the end of the day when I get home, and I do my notes. But that kind of sucks too, because it adds sometimes 2 to 3 hours to your work day. Like if you start seeing patients, depending on how many people that you have, you might start a day at, starting your day may start at 8 o'clock, your day may start at 9 o'clock, your day may start at 7 o'clock. It depends on why would you do? Why would you? I don't understand. There's no one around, and you go all the way across the highway and cut in front of me, and you're in medical transport, and you're driving like that. You're an idiot. Anyway, might be picking up one of my patients. Who knows? But the thing about it is depending on how many people you see in a day, and depending what time my day starts, okay? At an assisted living facility, okay, there's many people, there's a lot of places, they don't want you there seeing people until 9 o'clock, 9:30. Because it gives the staff an opportunity to get the people ready in the morning, whoever needs help, and then they have breakfast usually from 8 to 9. And you cannot interrupt breakfast. You just can't. You can't interrupt breakfast. So they want you there after 9 o'clock. I usually get to my facility at 8 o'clock in the morning, sometimes earlier. I open up the gym, and I'll sit there, and they come in as they all come in when they're done with breakfast, and I'm seeing some crazy stuff on the highway right now. And I don't understand what's going on. People drive like crap. So anyway, so if I see people from 8 o'clock in the morning, usually my day wraps up 2:30, 3 o'clock. Sometimes a little earlier. But then I go home and I got 2 hours of paperwork. And sometimes you're not motivated. Sometimes that 2 hours of paperwork turns into like 4 or 5 hours of paperwork, doing it off and on over the course of 4 or 5 hours. If it was 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, you're still doing the paperwork. So this week I've been a little bit better. I've kind of completed all my paperwork. I think I have a little bit I have to do, maybe a half hour is worth. But I gotta have it done I gotta have my paperwork done by Saturday, because the Medicare week runs from Sunday to Saturday. So Saturday, tomorrow, the Medicare week will come to an end, and then the new week starts on Sunday. So I gotta have my paperwork completed and turned in on Saturday. And now it's all automated. It used to be I had to have it in on Friday because the billing department had to submit everything on Friday. But now with automation, there's that word again. With electronics, I'm able to use apps and programs to do my paperwork instead of handwriting them. And they are automatically submitted to Medicare. For reimbursement. The only thing I have to do by paperwork is I got to submit. I get paid by the patient. So basically, the way that works is, come tomorrow, I get a schedule. It's automated, and they'll send me a list. There might be 20 people on the list. There might be 10 people on the list, and they tell me how many times I got to see them this week. And I already have a pretty good idea who I'm seeing. And then no one bothers me. The only time I have to call them or call the office is if I can't do the visit for some reason, or if there's an issue, like an issue beyond the visit. But I've been doing it long enough now. I handle all my own scheduling. So this morning I'm gonna go home. I gotta see someone. This is the bad part. I gotta sit around all day and see someone at 2:45. Sit around all day because one of my patients that I see on Monday and Wednesday had to push it back to Wednesday and Friday because of a doctor's appointment. So I said, fine. So I pushed it back to Friday, and it just turns out I've kind of completed my week, and now I'm just waiting around just for one patient. So I jumped on. They got on the radio. I'm listening to the dock strike is over. They're back to work unloading the docks. I'm sure they were under a lot of pressure. Not the dock workers. I'm sure that who's ever running the ports, they were under a lot of pressure to get them back to work because they agreed to a $66 average wage. And they would talk about automation later. back in January. And that's significant because at this time of the year when retailers and everything are gearing up for the holidays, they don't need an issue with the supply chain. And then they decided to wait till January to start talking about automation, so they don't. So this is all taken care of. So with the holidays, the election, nothing is going to be impacted till after. So whoever, but I think automation is a bigger concern to people, or it should be, than wages. It's always great to make more wages, but imagine you strike, you picket, they agree to a higher wage, but then 3 months later, X amount of people get laid off because of those wage increases. Right? And that's what's going to happen. They're either going to push on, if they keep everyone employed, then everything's going to get pushed towards, it's going to get laid on the people. You know, and price increases. Instead of the bananas being $1.50 or 25 cents a banana, now those bananas are going to be $3. Right? Someone's going to pay for it. But to let you guys know, I'm in South Florida, and they are predicting that this weekend's not going to be the greatest, and that next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're supposed to have torrential rain here. They're talking 5-6 inches of rain. It doesn't sound, you know, it sounds like a lot of it is. Five inches of rain. So what they'll start doing is they'll start lowering the canals. In South Florida, we have a lot of canals. We have the Intercoastal Waterway. We have the Everglades. And we need a place, when they collect the storm water, they need a place to put it. So what they'll do is they'll draw the lakes and the canals way down. You know, one day it'll be up the bank, and then you go there the next day and it's 2 feet lower than what it was the day before, because of they need a place to put the water, and everything's controlled by almost like a lock system, where I'll show it to you one day. If the Everglades gets too full, they'll open it up and they'll drain the water into the canals, and the canals go into these they have like these main arteries, right? You got the blood vessels that are running through the community, and then you got the artery that runs from the Everglades down to the Intercoastal Waterway and then out into the ocean, and they'll collect all that. All right, let's see what the news is. ABC News. The strike is over. Temporarily. The stopgap. Yeah, North Carolina, the storms. That place is devastated. They should, hopefully, just more than the National Guard, if they have military available, they should bring the military in, clear those roads. You got to get the roads cleared, and you got to get them rebuilt. A lot of the roads have been washed away. I'm in a school zone, so I gotta go 15. But this guy here don't care. But I had just driven past here 20 minutes ago, and there was a motorcycle cop in the bushes. So they better watch what they're doing. They don't play. You speed in a school zone, it's going to cost you a couple, two to $300, because it's like, it's just not a speeding ticket. They charge them more because it's a school zone. So, and usually right up here, right, coming up on this blinking light, just past this area, there's a bunch of there's a school right here on the corner. Just beyond the school, usually they get a bunch of motorcycle cops that hide in the bushes. They're off to the side. Yeah, I saw one this morning. I got this truck in front of me, so I really can't see too much. But I thought I saw a police lights on. But it's not worth speeding. When are you going to save yourself? Everyone else is going 15 and you're going to bob and weave to the traffic. It doesn't pay. What are you going to save, a minute? Yeah, I see the cop already. Because I know where to look. There's a motorcycle cop over here to the right. Where that red truck is, that Dodge Ram, just in the bushes right there, there's a cop. I can see his, yeah, there he is. You'll see him. He's on the right hand side. The BSO cop. They don't have his, the thing is, he doesn't have his, I don't see his radar detector out. So what that could be is sometimes they work in tandem. You got another cop somewhere who's hitting people with the radar, and then they'll tell this, and then he'll radio to him, hey, gray car, going X amount of miles an hour, and he'll go and pull someone over. But this area is a big deal because this is the main road right here. And it's a weird place because they got the school zone, but they got this area. This area is a main artery to get to the expressway. So a lot of cars go flying through that area. If you get what I'm saying, it's just, you get a lot of cars coming from the east coming to the expressway that's just past this lake. So, and there's a school right there, in a school zone, and they're doing 15, and you get people who are late for work and they just go screaming through there sometimes. Alright, so listen. Everyone knows I drive a minivan. I've been driving a minivan for the last, 10 years. No, 7 years of driving a minivan. And I got 180,000 miles. The car is giving me some issues. Just like any car with 180,000 miles. But I'm experiencing some transmission issues. Sometimes it drives great, and then sometimes the transmission acts up. But it's getting to the point that I drive Uber and Lyft once in a while to make some extra cash on the side. And don't laugh, because on a Saturday one time I went out at 8 o'clock in the morning, got done at 4 o'clock, and I made almost $500 driving Lyft in South Florida. And that's not delivering food for Uber. That's strictly picking people up and driving them from job to job, or wherever I'm driving them to. I think the most rides I ever gave in one day was 22 rides. 22 rides in a day. And but the most money I ever made was almost $500. between 4 and 500. And I've been afraid to do it because the car will drive fine, but then it'll act up, and then I'm afraid people are gonna get pissed or something. You know, it's a reliable car. I mean, I've driven all morning, haven't had any problems with it, but just don't need any issues. I'm thinking about getting another car. I don't want a car payment. I haven't had, that's the problem. I haven't had a car payment in like 10 years. But the car situation is keeping me from making some extra side hustle. So I'm thinking about, should I get an electric car? I'm anti-electric, right? Because I live in South Florida. We're prone to hurricanes, as you just saw. Or we live under the threat of a hurricane. And you see what's going on in North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia. That's a one-off thing, but it could happen again. And if you have an electric car, what's happening? The electric car up there, you wouldn't be able to charge it. You wouldn't be able to do anything. You'd be stuck, right? You'd be stuck. You know what's crazy? Look at this. It doesn't look like the weather's that bad, but it is. It is completely gray. Just to the left, I'm going straight, just to the left, it looks like it's all my neighbor putting his suitcase in the back of the car. Where's he going? He's got to be going somewhere. Because it's a Friday, and I know he works, so he must be going on a trip. Anyway, that's my son's basketball hoop, and here's a. Here's the funny thing. He doesn't really use it that often. It's in a spot where it doesn't get used very often. Off to the side, the right and left from the center, he uses that for bank shots. But the middle, he doesn't use that much. And what happens, since every time we have some type of like a storm blows through and it's high winds, I don't have to worry about it getting blown over, because it has a place for it to vent. Bye. See you later. Have a good day. Anyway, let me see I'll go over my schedule with you guys to see. So this week I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I've done 20 visits this week. Okay. And then today is what, the 4th? I got one person today, so that'll be 21 visits, right? 21 visits. So, and I've completed, I think, all my notes. I think I've completed, let's see, I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes. I'm missing 5 notes. I should have went in the freaking house because now it's raining hard. But and then next week, I think I have most of the people, but I still have the same people. But I think I got to add some new people to my list. I don't know. I gotta sign off. I have to check my stuff.